battle between the Trump administration and Maine is intensifying as the state continues to allow transgender athletes to compete against biological females. For nearly 2 months now, this showdown has been simmering, with both sides locked in a tense legal and political standoff. On Monday, Maine filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, after the agency froze funding for the state. The USDA's decision came as a result of Maine's refusal to reverse its policy on transgender athlete participation in schools. This policy, which allows transgender athletes to compete in girls' sports, has sparked significant controversy, especially after multiple high-profile incidents that have divided the state. But why does this matter? Well, the issue cuts to the heart of a debate over fairness in women's sports. The Trump administration and its supporters argue that biological males should not compete in female athletics, citing concerns over safety and fairness. They believe that Title X, which was originally designed to ensure gender equality in sports, should be interpreted to exclude transgender athletes from competing in categories based on their gender identity. Maine's stance, however, has attracted both support and fierce criticism. Senator Susan Collins, R. Maine, has weighed in, acknowledging the complexity of the situation. While she agrees with the federal government's stance on excluding biological males from female sports, she also supports the dignity and rights of transgender individuals. Transgender people deserve to be treated with respect and dignity, Collins said in a social media post. But that does not change the fact that Title X mandates equal access to athletic resources and facilities based on sex, not gender identity. It's important to note that Collins is not alone in her view. The Department of Education has also launched an investigation into Maine for its policy. The Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights, OCR, referred the state to the Department of Justice, DOJ, after the state's education department continued to allow transgender athletes in girls' sports. This is the second such referral in a month, adding more pressure to Maine's position. The controversy began when former President Trump signed an executive order in February banning transgender athletes from competing in women's sports. Maine, however, was one of the first states to defy the order, setting the stage for a fierce legal and political battle. The situation was further brought to light when Maine State Representative Laurel Libby posted a social media update about a transgender athlete who won a girls' pole vault competition at Greeley High School. Libby's comments sparked outrage, leading to her censure by the state legislature. What's at stake here is more than just a legal dispute. It's about the values that shape sports competition and the future of Title X. Maine officials argue that excluding transgender athletes is a violation of the civil rights of transgender individuals. However, opponents insist that allowing transgender athletes to compete in women's sports undermines the fairness that Title X sought to establish in the first place. So, where does this leave us? Will the state of Maine continue to fight for its position, or will it back down under federal pressure? And what about the athletes themselves? How will this policy shape their future opportunities? These questions remain unanswered, but the fight is far from over. In the end, this ongoing struggle between federal and state governments over transgender rights and Title X is about more than sports. It's about balancing equality, fairness, and the rights of individuals in a way that respects everyone involved. Will Maine stand firm, or will federal authorities make their mark? Time will tell.